Hello and welcome to another edition of Active Living from the Orion Center. Today we have our world traveler, Jim Roback, with us. Jim has just returned from another worldwide tour. This time he's gone to Thailand. So Jim, welcome to our show.
Glad to be here, George.
Well, I understand you just took another recent trip to Thailand, and we'd like to talk to you about something about your trip. Tell us about, tell us about what you've experienced over there and how you got there and so on.
Well, this was certainly a great trip. Basically, starting from Detroit and getting all the way to Bangkok, probably about 30 hours by air. Basically, I left on a Sunday about 4:30 in the afternoon because of the 3-hour difference to get to San Francisco, and then had a layover there for 3 hours before we took off, and then from there 13 and a half hours to Taipei, which is an island, before you refuel, actually take another plane to Bangkok for another 3 hours. So it's quite a long journey, but we managed it very well.
30 hours?
30 hours basically to get there.
I can't imagine that.
Well, it wasn't too bad, so you have to live with it.
Okay. So where did you fly into?
Okay,
into
Bangkok. We flew into Bangkok. We got picked up, and that day that we kind of rested before we decided to travel the next day. We went 3 days early to go up to the bridge of the River Kwai and to the various areas up there, the floating market, because that was not on our itinerary. Although there are trips that has those side trips on there, but we decided to do it differently because we want to go to Phuket, which is the islands to the south of Thailand, which are the resort areas. And it was real neat there. So what we did is we set up our tour on Tuesday evening, and we have a driver picked us up on Wednesday morning. It cost like $140 each, but we had a driver for ourselves for the whole day, which was really good. So he took us up to Kanchanaburi, to what they call the Burma Thailand Railroad. This is the one the Japanese built that wanted to basically stop the forces, like the Allied forces, from sinking their ships, which traveled all the way from Burma all the way around through the Malay Straits through Singapore, so they decided to build a railroad.
Okay.
So we went up there, and we went first to Hellfire Pass, which is really one of the key areas of the bridge of the River Kwai, and this is where a lot of the people basically died. And it was really pretty awesome as far as trying to get through the jungle there. This railroad stretched for something like 250 miles from Burma to Thailand, to the edge of Thailand. And it took 14 months to build, and the main thing about that, going to Hellfire Pass, is where they had these people that were working at night because of the 14-month time frame, that the bodies were so emaciated from not feeding the prisoners that when they were blasting out the rock during the nighttime, they had torches, and the bodies that reflected on the wall looked like emaciated bodies, so they call it Dante's Inferno because it was so grotesque.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was really amazing. So that was a highlight there. Then from there...
But this was the area where the movie, The Bridge on the River Kwai, was made, right?
Well, it wasn't really made there. It was made somewhere else. I think it was...
but it depicted that area.
It depicted that area, exactly. That was the area that was the worst, because they had to build a lot of the trestle bridges to go through that area of the jungle because on the side of a mountain.
Okay.
So it was really, really treacherous. And most of the railroad there, it was gone, but they still have some of the railroad still in use today.
But they used American troops, American prisoners?
No, there was no American prisoners, which was interesting. There was something like, it was mostly Australian, British, and Netherlands.
Okay.
And when you get to the War Memorial, which I'll talk about right now, that there's something like 9,000 bodies buried there. Wow. And of those, there's like 5,600 are the British, about 2,000 Australians, and 1,500 Netherlands.
Wow.
And 560, they don't know who was, they're unknown things. It's interesting there, none of the Asians were buried there, and there was over 100,000 people that died on that segment of the rail. They just buried them on the side of the hill wherever they were, basically when they died.
Wow.
But there was no American prisoners that were used there. There's a few Americans there, but they were not part of this thing.
Okay.
So that was good, because it was all British colonies and Netherlands colonies that the Japanese captured.
Mm-hmm.
So from there, like I say, went to the War Memorial, which we saw the cemetery, which is really nice. There was a lot of stones that had nice, beautiful recordings, not recordings, but sayings on there, of the family and such, and it was well kept up. And beside it was a Thailand type cemetery, which had various monuments and such. It was kind of interesting to see both of them there.
Oh, yeah.
But the War Memorial was certainly kept much better than the Thailand cemetery there.
It sounds like an interesting trip.
It was.
Itself, just to do that portion.
Just that segment itself, And so we had a driver the whole day, and interesting, we stayed in Kanchanaburi, which is right by the River Kwai, or Kwai, I guess we'll say, and it was $30 for the night. It was very cheap, and that included a huge, big breakfast in the morning. Wow. So it was very inexpensive. So then the next morning we went to the bridge of the River Quay and crossed over. You can cross over it, you walk across. It's an iron bridge today, still in use as far as you can take a railroad car back and forth there for about 20 baht, which is worth about 65 cents. Okay. So it was like a 15-minute trip, and they had people working on there to fix it, and but it was kind of an interesting, interesting sight. So it was something to see, and certainly you can see the amount of people that died on this thing was unbelievable, basically.
So did the movie accurately depict the area?
Pretty well, yes, it did. Yep, pretty well it did. Yep, it did. And from there, we also went to what we call Orion Falls, which is very close to the bridge of the River Quay, and it's like 7 levels of falls that come down from the top of the mountain. It's up to about 2,000 meters you have to climb up to. It's about a little over a mile and a quarter, and there's 7 like pools as you're coming down. And people are swimming there as you go from pool to pool to pool. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of people swimming there. I didn't have a chance to swim because we were such on a tight schedule there that our driver didn't allow us to do that, so we only had about 3 hours there. So all the way to the top and hurry up and get back down. So we were about 20 minutes late getting back. But
that's not that picture that we have behind us here, is it?
That's part of the falls. Yeah, that's one segment. I think that was like level number 2.
Okay.
As you keep going up, it gets higher and higher, and it gets more treacherous as far as going up there. You have to negotiate rocks and roots and everything else. But
it looks beautiful, though.
It is. It's really beautiful to hike up to the top of it, and it's strenuous too. It was strenuous, so it was really good. And then from there, after we finished that, we slept naturally. The next day, we hired a car to take us to Ratchanburi, which is the floating market of Thailand. This is the most famous, where a lot of the commerce is taken care of out of canoes and boats and things of that nature. And they sell everything from fruit, where you can buy food from them to eat. They had 2 big snakes there that you could take pictures with, and that's not my cup of tea, so I'm out of there. So I had somebody else take the picture because I just hate snakes.
I did that once in, where was it? I think it was in, it wasn't Thailand, but it was another country over there that I was traveling. And it's Singapore, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, Singapore would have
I had my picture taken with one of these big, long snakes. Boy, those things are powerful.
Oh, I'm sure they are. I mean, I still won't even get near them as far as that's concerned. But we ate there. That was the only day it rained all day. And one interesting thing about that, too, they have what they call these long-tail boats. And it's got a motor sitting on the back of the boat, and it's got a propeller that's out about 12 feet.
I've seen those on
and basically it's because of the low water level, so they have to have them. And they have the engines there, which, I mean, if you stuck your finger in there, you could lose an arm or a hand, and OSHA was certainly not approve that as far as being the states there. But I mean, these guys are right up against it.
Really?
It's amazing how they just negotiate this and use these long-tail boats to go all the way around the canals. And they would stop at various places. You can actually buy things, along with the people who are in the canoes, which are selling any kind of fruits, vegetables, souvenirs, you name it, they've got it.
So it's a huge floating market.
It is a huge floating market, and it's well-renowned, and it's really a place to visit.
Sounds interesting.
It is. That it is, too. So from there, we then returned back to Bangkok on Friday, and from that, coming back, and that is a huge city, over 10 million people, and we saw all the people going home that evening. It's just mass amount of people with the transit system coming to the center of the city and everybody going out. It's just tremendous amount of people. But a lot of street vendors there. I mean, just hundreds of street vendors. You go down sidewalks, there's vendors everywhere you go, basically, because they're selling everything you can name, from watches to clothes to food. There's a lot of food all the time. Lots of food. Lots of food. And in Bangkok, there's 3 major attractions. They call the Lion Buddha. And it's about 50 feet long with 40 feet high. It's a very long Buddha they have in this building. There's also the Emerald Buddha, which has a little small green Buddha at the top of the statue there. It's about 4 inches high. And then you have the Gold Buddha, which is in Chinatown. It's pure gold. It weighs 11,000 pounds. Wow. And apparently it was hidden from the enemy. They used to cover it with like a cast of some type. And they broke and they found it was pure gold. So I calculated out it's worth about $13 million. It sits on a level 3 in this little building in Chinatown.
$13 million
$13 million Buddha sitting in town there, so pretty impressive, as far as the money is concerned. And overlooked, in our hotel, we overlooked a temple, which is out from our 15th floor. We could see it. Kind of interesting there that every morning at 7 o'clock there's a market.
Right.
And in that market they're selling everything from fish to chicken. It's all open, no refrigeration or anything. But the most interesting part about the whole thing was these monks come out at 7 o'clock in the morning, and people provide food from there to the monks.
Really?
Yes, I think they cost about $30, a couple of dollars, and they give it to the monks, and it's amazing. They have them all lined up on these different vendor tables, and they buy them and give it to the monks.
Wow.
It's very interesting. So
It is interesting.
it is. And then once we left Bangkok, then we went to a town they called Ayutthaya, and here's where they had the summer palace of the prime minister and such, or the kings at that time. It was called Bang Pa, and it was the royal summer palace there. Beautiful gardens and beautiful estate. There was a lot of beautiful buildings. We saw the change in the guard there,
Right.
And it was really very impressive and very clean. Most places in Bangkok and Thailand was pretty clean. We didn't see the trash around any very much. It was very clean, so I was very commendable to the people keep it pretty clean. And as soon as we finished that, it was probably about a half a day at the palace there. It was very pretty and very nice to visit. We visited the next city, and on the way went to a school where we saw the school children. They were in elementary grades.
Right.
And we had a chance, I had a chance anyways, to teach them English, and they had their books out and such. And
They were learning English.
they were learning English. They had, for example, what a diary was, what the Eiffel Tower was, which the Statue of Liberty was, and things of that nature. So they had the picture and in Thailand and then English version.
Okay.
And they could speak it very well. I'd ask the kids, and they said, yeah, that's a diary. That's the Statue of Liberty or the passport.
Really?
And they spoke it very well. So I taught them the high five and the low five and all that. They were laughing, having a good time. So bring out that American garbage, you know,
right,
whatever the case may be. So,
oh, that's pretty cool.
so they were good. They're very friendly, the kids. They're very open. They don't have a lot of desks and things of that nature. A lot of times they're on the ground. They're basically in the classrooms, you know. They just got carpets and that. And they do a very good job. I was talking to the English
they have
teacher.
large classes, or is it really?
Just about 20 in a class.
Oh, that's
And
not
sometimes
bad.
there was more, depending on where you're at. So
It's not bad at all.
So from there, we went to what they call a town of Sukhothai, and basically it was more ancient ruins. There was a lot of temples to see, and they all
look the same.
They all look the same after us. Oh my, not another temple to see, and things of that nature. More Buddhas and things of that. But once you pass that, we stayed there. The next town is really the key to Thailand, is what they call Chiang Rai, and then Chiang Mai. Chiang Rai is a small little town, but nice to visit there. But really, it was the next city was Chiang Mai. That's where really all the cultural heart of northern Thailand is at, and there's so much to see there. And basically, and on the way to Chiang Mai, we went to this what they call the White Temple, which is this one right here. This fellow started in 1998, and it's all white compared to the ruins that we saw there. And they have a lot of grotesque figures that he had carved out. They're hanging from trees, or like fire plugs, and they're very grotesque. Like, I mean, it's like
really
pretty nasty stuff. You know, I mean, really weird. But that's quite a thing to see as we're going into Chiang Mai. Okay, now we're going to be in Chiang Mai. This is really the cultural center of Thailand, and northern part of Thailand, and it's really one of the great places to visit because of all the things to see and do. And I think the first thing we did was to go to what they call the Mai Salong Hill Tribes. And there's two tribes there. They call the Akha and the Long Neck. The Long Neck are the most interesting. These are the women that had these brass rings around their neck. There's 15 rings on them, and it weighs about 15 pounds. And it actually doesn't push the neck up, it pushes the shoulders down. And it's some and there's some beautiful women there, and they showed us a dance, and they had the costumes on. We were able to take some pictures with them. And the interesting part about this whole tribe, they still live, you know, very primitive. They live and make a lot of handicrafts, which we're able to purchase, and a couple of those.
Tell us about this long neck stuff. What is the deal here?
I don't know. I guess it's just their custom and such, that they start them at almost 2 years old with the babies. They start putting a little few of them on, and as they continue to grow, they put more and more on, where they actually have 15 rings or 15 pounds of brass rings on their neck.
Can you imagine necking with one of those ladies?
Yeah, I don't know. And the bad part about the whole thing is that they get a lot of diseases from there because they can't clean underneath there, and they die early, which is really sad in respect, because they are such beautiful women. In fact, a lot of the advancing armies would actually take these women back to their homeland because they're the most prettiest women in Thailand.
Really?
Oh, they were just gorgeous. And I have a couple pictures of the little girls that are at 2 and 3 years old. They're just the most beautiful little kids you ever would imagine. Just unbelievable. They're really fantastic. And then after visiting that,
is that a religious thing where they put the thing around their neck, or is that just a a custom?
I think it's just a custom. I don't think
Okay.
it's religious, but they did the dance, which was real nice. They did a couple of dances for us, and
Great.
so it was very nice. And then you had the opportunity to buy some handicrafts from there, which you wanted to do because that's
Sure.
the only source of income that they have. And but
Okay.
they were dressed in their costume. It was real nice. The next thing we went to is what they call the Mesa Elephant Farm, and this is very interesting because in this area here, these farms have these elephants that they really do a good job of taking care of the elephants. They're all Asian elephants. The difference between Asian and African, Asian have small ears and the African have large ears.
Right.
The Asian are much smarter. They're able to put a hat on you and take it off.
Really?
They are able to paint. They actually painted pictures. And actually you could buy them at the end of the show. There were 3 elephants that did painting, and the fellow would give him the brush and he would paint on the paper, give him another brush, and he put a different color and things like that, and you could buy it at the end for I think it was like $50 or $60. And that was the most amazing. Now they can play soccer, they built things, and they would kiss you. They could take, if you give them a dollar bill, they could take that dollar bill and give it to the trainer. They're well trained to take the money.
Oh, I imagine they are.
And we fed them like bananas and bamboo and such. So the elephants was really a treat. And we took a elephant ride also, which took about a half an hour. But a wonderful experience there. And they were actually bathing in the river there. Then they would shoot water at you, and the people would scatter once they squirt water at you,
Oh, yeah.
basically. Yeah, so that was pretty neat there. But the biggest thing is what they call the this Loy Krathong Festival. Now this is basically done the first full moon in November, and it's basically to carry away the sins and bad luck of the previous year and hope for a good year the following year.
Okay.
And the Loy main basically is to float, and Krathong is they build these little, called little long lotus-shaped vessels, and they're made out of banana leaves, and they got candles, and then you set them in the water, and let them go. You light the candle, let them go to take away the bad stuff and have good luck for the following year.
So they float down the river.
Yeah, they float down
Okay.
the river. And
Right.
Unfortunately, the candles went out very quickly because it was kind of a windy day. But the real interesting thing there was the lanterns that they lit. They would light these lanterns and let them go up to the sky, and there were thousands of them there. I don't know how the aircraft actually maneuvered past them. They go up to about 3,000 feet, and there was thousands upon thousands. They were going up to like to 4 o'clock in the morning. They were
Really?
lighting these things off for the 2 nights that we were there on Friday and Saturday. It's just a beautiful sight to see, and we'll show a picture of that later on and see how that basically lights up the sky. It's just fabulous there.
So that's like a festival that happens once a year.
Every year, yeah, in November. The
And you
first
hit it
full
just
moon.
perfect.
Just hit it perfect. We were very, very lucky that we hit it right on the 17th of November. It was just
Great.
perfect. It was actually fantastic. Then basically we had an opportunity to go up to Burma, and where the Golden Triangles at, where Laos, Thailand, and Myanmar, which is the old Siam, come together. And this is
Right.
the opium area there. We were able to visit Laos up there. It was an island there we visited by the name of Dan Sao Island, and we saw an opium museum and such, and kind of interesting area. It's not prevalent today, the opium triangle. It's basically not happening there.
What
but
do you see in an opium museum?
there was everything from pipes to people smoking and stuff, and there was a lot of logos of which opium was, how it was transported, how it was grown, and it's a very good museum. It had
Really?
a lot of good things, a lot of pipes of every imaginable type if you want to smoke the opium, I guess. So,
Did you get a chance to sample any of that stuff?
almost that I did in Burma. It was in Siam there. They had it looked like a cigarette there, and I put it in my mouth, just pretend I was smoking one of those things there.
Yeah.
But it really, I don't think it really was. So, but then one of the other evenings, we went to a dinner at a family that invited us to see how they cooked their food, and they served us, which was real nice.
Really?
It was a family that was quite wealthy, and they enjoy bringing in tourists.
Okay.
And so they fed us, and
They take in the whole tour?
well, they took the 31 people we had on our tour.
Okay.
So it was very nice. They wined, and they showed us their living quarters were just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, with the mother with her place, and then the sons and their wives and that were there. It's on the second floor. It was a lot of wealth there, let me tell you. I mean, it
Really?
was a lot of wealth.
From the opium trade, probably.
Who knows? Maybe, but it
Whatever
was
it
beautiful.
was, they were very wealthy.
Well taken care of,
Yeah.
exactly. So, so that, like I said, when we visit Siam, they're in the Golden Triangle there. We went into the city. It cost us $30 to get a visa to go into Siam or Myanmar, but it was worth it to see. Went and saw the village there, and they fed us sweet corn, which we ate, which is really good. They cooked in an old pot there, and the living conditions were, dirt floors and everything else, and that's how they lived.
Really?
And the clothes are out there and everything. It was just, it was really interesting how they lived. I mean, a lot of poverty, there's no question, but they seemed to be happy. they seemed to be very, very happy. So that was really Chiang Mai, and then to move on, we went to the island of Phuket. We flew from Chiang Mai to Bangkok to Phuket. Basically there we had an opportunity to visit some of the islands, and the first day was a cruise, and it was real good. It was one of the better ones. The second day was a speedboat, which was okay, but the cruise was real nice because we were able to visit the, what they call it was, I don't know, what was it? James Bond Island, where they did some filming, and
really?
it was really neat to see that. Basically, they showed where they did the movie and things of that nature, various shots there. It was really nice. The scenery was just absolutely gorgeous there.
Wow.
And really nice to see that. I can't remember the name of the movie. Oh yeah, the movie was filmed The Man with the Golden Gun. That's what it was called.
Okay.
That they filmed it there. And so very pretty area there. We did some snorkeling. Then we saw, we went to Monkey Island, where you were on the boat and you threw bananas to the monkeys, and they grabbed them and ate them and things of that nature.
Right.
You didn't want to get too close because they can jump on board and steal your camera or steal something. Remember, these damn monkeys are smarter than a whip, so you have to kind of stay away from them devils. They're not, they're very aggressive, let's put it that way. You want to be very, very careful with these people here.
It looks like you brought a lot of stuff back with you, Jim.
Right.
I mean, we got a whole table full of merchandise here. Looks like they did pretty well with you.
Yeah, they did. Well, it wasn't very expensive. That's the one good thing. I mean, you negotiated very well, but it wasn't very expensive at all. But one of the last things that when we got back after Phuket, after visiting that area, which is the resort area, was real nice. Came to Bangkok, and that evening we had an opportunity to go to a show called the Calypso. And these were, what did I say, female impersonators? Well, they were actually transvestites that put on a fabulous show, and you had an opportunity to take pictures with them, and it was pretty neat. I mean, you couldn't tell man from woman, I'll tell you. And there were some very gorgeous women you'd like to take home, but I think you would say, I think I'll pass. So,
yeah, right.
But that was really the end of the tour. It was very, very nice to go to that last show. It was about $40 for about an hour and 20 minutes. It was well worth it.
So in this show, what do they do? Sing and dance?
Sing and dance, like a Las Vegas show. They did a real job with the costumes and everything, just absolutely gorgeous. You know, I mean, there was no money spared there. It was well done.
Really?
Well done. It was well worth the price, so it was really good.
So we got a bunch of stuff here, Jim. Tell me about this.
Well, this was the umbrella factory.
Carousel.
We had a chance to visit various places where you can buy these umbrella factories. These are all handmade with the wood there. I mean, these women were doing it. And there were such beautiful umbrellas there. I mean, just incredible. And
this is all handmade.
It's all handmade and painted also. You can buy an umbrella. They'll hand paint anything you want down there. We went to a jade factory. We went to gem. We went to silk factories. You can buy all kinds of stuff. I bought a silk comforter, which is probably worth about $1,200 to $1,500 there for $250.
Wow.
Beautiful silk comforter.
Fantastic.
Absolutely fantastic. This thing right over here, we went to that place where we ate with the family here. They gave us a recipe for fried chicken curry. So they gave us a bottle of the curry and the
oh, this is the real McCoy.
that's the real McCoy stuff. So I haven't had a chance to use that yet, but they provided that to us.
I can smell it from here.
Can you?
Oh yeah, right through the plastic.
All righty. These little bags in front of us here, they were very inexpensive. This is to carry a water bottle right here. You can carry it around your neck like such.
Okay.
And you can put a water bottle in there so you don't have to carry it in your hand or something like that. It was real nice.
That's very cool.
These are little purses here. We bought 6 for 100 baht, which is about $3 for 6 of them.
Wow.
And so they're very expensive.
And these are all handmade.
They're all handmade, yeah.
That is gorgeous.
Very nice, yeah. It was very nice there.
Wow.
This is the currency right here. So you can see here's 100 baht. And that's worth about $3.20.
Oh, really?
And this is what you use. So it's 30 baht to the dollar for American. So this is 100. Then you have a 500 and a 20 there. So most of it was in notes there. You have coins, but mostly it was notes all the time. These pictures here are very nice.
They're
handmade. They're all made out of bamboo there. They're actually inlaid there.
Really?
Yes, and it was very well done, you know. So these are 3. I bought 12 of them, but I distributed amongst some of the other people. They wanted some, so I just gave some. I kept these 3 here. Were very nice. Then these pictures here are of the various venues here. This is a dinner show we went to here one night. I'm trying to remember what this one was. Yeah, this was in Bangkok. This was another one here, another dinner show we went to here.
Wow.
And finally, this was
You're surrounding yourself with
beautiful
women there.
I just have a attraction for good-looking women. I don't know why. It must be this old man type theory or something like that. This is the elephant farm there. We went on the elephant. This was us riding the elephant, and this was with my traveling partner Samantha. So everywhere we went, we are twosome, and but we enjoy traveling, and we love to do these things here.
That's great.
This is from the lacquer factory here. These are probably around $15. They have this fine little Magastine soap in there, very smelly and very fragrant and very nice, and you see it's very well done.
Is that all made out of wood?
Yes, it is, and it's got lacquer in there. I don't know how many coats of lacquer on it. It's all hand carved
Wow.
and painted and all that.
And that's
stuff.
$5?
No, this was $15. A little more expensive. But it was well worth it. Naturally, I always buy the shot glasses for the teachers and the
wait.
thimbles.
Shot glasses for teachers?
Yes, right. They want them because they collect them. So so I buy them for them. I have them distribute these to. Her name is. She comes to our church, and her name is.
Oh, never mind. Don't.
What her name is?
Don't,
we have to tell her her name.
Don't divulge her name.
Divulge her name. These are little wind chimes, and they were like I think about 60 cents each, basically. So they would go in the wind here, basically.
Right.
Here. This is a nice carving of. I like this picture because of the man carrying these water bottles. I would call the Hanoi man. I call him there. So it's kind of a neat thing. I haven't attached the buckets there, but that is really a neat little thing. I loved it. So
yeah. And that's probably all hand carved as
well. That was all
well.
hand carved. I don't know what the wood is. I think it's teak wood there. And going backwards here, in that village of the Long Neck tribe, we bought these coconut cups.
Okay.
So you can, and the guy made them. He's very intelligent individual, and they were like 60 cents each, basically. So it was very inexpensive. Here it is, 20 baht on the back of it. So very expensive. This was another one in the town of Chiang Mai. Beautiful vases like this here, and it's only like $3.
Is that carved
That's
out
bamboo
of bamboo
too. That's
as well?
out of bamboo also.
Wow.
And I can't imagine for $3, they, with all the intricate carvings in there and such, and for $3, I wish I would have bought more of them. But again, room is a premium in your suitcases. When you go.
Right.
And your typical hats, mostly in Laos and Vietnam, wear for the sun, basically. These are the hats, So
right.
I bought two of them there at the floating village there that we visited. Here's some hats from the bridge of the River Kwai. I bought two of them because we felt that we had to buy some stuff from the people there at the bridge of the River Kwai there. So very nice hats. They're like $2, I think it was. Very inexpensive, so it was well worth the price there. And other hats here. This is from that village of the Long Neck tribe here. These were, I think, like 50 baht, so that was worth about $2, something like that.
Wow.
So very expensive. About two of them. I have one here, so you just put them on your head.
Yeah,
so they look good. It's a good Halloween hat or something.
It looks like a dunce cap.
Well, it probably is.
I'm a
dunce there. And finally, we can look at this here. I think we want to show a picture of this. I don't know if we can show a real good picture of this, George, if you want to open it up. This is that Lantern Festival in Chiang Mai. You want to open up the whole thing maybe with this was out in the paper that evening there. And you can see all the lanterns are up in the sky there. Just thousands of them that they light and let them go up in the air. They last for about 15 minutes. A lot of times what they did was to attach firecrackers to the end of it, and after you got up about maybe 500 feet, all of a sudden all these firecrackers would go off.
Really?
After going up, exactly. Not everyone, but they would attach it to it, and it would be fantastic. I mean, the sight was incredible. So that's kind of the story of Thailand, and this is a great country to visit. I would certainly recommend it to anybody. It's a wonderful place to go. The people are nice, no problem whatsoever. I know there was some uprisings there they've had, but we didn't see any of that at all in the city. No, they keep it pretty quiet.
Well, Jim, I want to thank you for joining us on Active Living at the Orion Center, and you certainly set the bar high for active living. I'll say that. Hiking to the top of Mount Kilimanjaro, going to Thailand, going to Turkey. And so, what's your next adventure?
Israel and Jordan in February.
Oh my goodness! Yeah. Already?
We're already. Yeah, we're ready to go there to see the Petra in Jordan and all the ruins in Jerusalem and Israel, so it'll be very good. So,
well, we hope to talk to you when you get back.
Well, be glad to do that and enjoy another trip to another country.
Great. Well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on Active Living at the Orion Center. We'll be back to see you at a later episode. Hopefully we'll have Jim back after his next tour. Thank you for joining us.